Hello again, fellow piano players. For this video, I'm going to assume that you've already watched the introduction to major scales and the 2-octave one, because that will explain the fingering and the key signatures and how all of those work. In Western music, when we play harmony, our ears are very used to hearing a semitone at the end of the scale, because it makes us feel like the end. Doesn't matter whether it's a major one or a minor one. We hear this all the time. That cool sound is made up of a semitone there, a semitone there. That is a whopping big step. It is an F to a G sharp. So even though it looks like a skip, it looks really, really far apart, it's a tone plus a semitone. So we call it a tone and a half, or tone plus a semitone. So now I'm going to do the same thing, harmonic minor, 1 octave up, and then I'll do 2 octaves as well. So listen to the difference in the sound. I'm going to do the same with your left hand. Next one we do is E, and the reason E is next on the clock is because the major scale with 1 sharp had the F sharp up there, we had G. Listen to the sound again. Under the ground. E minor is related to G. Harmonic minor, we count up to the 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The D gets raised up to D sharp. And there's our cool spooky sound at the top. So composers use that all the time to make something sound exciting or spooky, or that there's something creepy coming up. And 2 octaves, we just tuck your thumb on the E again. Left hand still feels weird. There's our raised 7th. And 2 octaves. Two sharps. The major scale was D. There's our F sharp and our C sharp. And under the ground is B minor. B harmonic minor. This one feels like a zebra. It's going black, white all over the place. So we still have C sharp. We still have the F sharp. Instead of the A wants to become really close to the B. So look at that bit at the end. We've got 1, white, black, white, black, white. White, black, white, black, white. Very zebra-ish. It goes in and out of these 3 black notes. So here's 1 octave. 2 octaves. We just tuck your thumb and continue. So that shape with the two fingers here and the 3 fingers here actually stays the same. We just don't always use the black notes of that set and this set. Left hand, same deal. Pinky has a holiday. And here's our zebra bit. Black, white, black, white. That's fun to just run around because it feels like you're going in and out of things. If we do 2 octaves, okay, we're up to 3 sharps. Now the 3 sharp family, the major one was A. And we have those 3 sharps in there, F sharps and C sharps and G sharps. We keep on adding to the ones that we had just before. If we do under the ground from A, I'll jump it down. Listen to this one. Under the ground, we actually land on an F sharp. So F sharp minor is the relative minor of A. So fingering wise, it's going to change straight away. We start off with your 2. Harmonic minor, we have to raise the 7th. We need the snaky sound, the Arabic kind of sound. Here's the first note, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 7th note is an E. So if we're going to raise it up, we actually have to go to the weird land of E sharp. We can't call that F because that is already being called F sharp. And if we called that an F and that an F sharp, E gets very cross. Gets really miffed in the middle because he says, hang on, you didn't mention me. So we have to call this E sharp. That's our raised 7th. That's the accidental. So this feels weird. That is a step. It is written as D and E sharp and then F sharp. So that, as skippy as that feels, is actually a step. And 2 octaves with the weird step in there. Keep on going. Here's the weird step again. And 4 over the top. Left hand, let's see if we can find the weird step. And you use the same 2 fingers. So that was F sharp minor, 3 sharps. If we go to 4 sharps, the major scale was E. And we had those 2 lots, little squishies. The relative minor, under the ground is C sharp minor. So C sharp minor has 4 sharps. Same 4 sharps. Same little squishy things that we had in E, but in a different spot. So same deal as before. Let's put your 2 on C sharp. Harmonic minor, let's count up your 7th note. So 7 notes up from C sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's another one of these odd ones. We're just going to do weird things with our fingering. So B sharp turns into a C, but we can't call it C because we've already got a C sharp. There's our big step again. And then back up to C sharp. So C sharp, B sharp, A, and again, this is one of these things that you can start off here because when we do 2 octaves, you'll have different fingering here. So watch from here. 3 and 4. Let's go up another octave. Here's the big step. Here we need your 4 and 3 over the top. There's the big step. And you can do 4 and 3 in there if you want to, just to remember. Left hand, we're going to start off with the 2 black note fingerings. Pretty straightforward. We're going to put this over the top like you did with the 3 there. There's your massive step. And coming backwards. And 2 octaves. So those ones are hard work. Let's keep on going. You're up to 5. We're actually down the bottom of the clock where they start to overlap, and it gets a bit easier to remember because you just have to remember where the white notes were. The rest of them, for the natural minors, are exactly the same as the majors. So B major, all the black notes, and these 2 whites. Who works under the ground. We have to call this G sharp minor. If we're going to say it's relative to B, then we give it a sharp name. If we said it's relative to C flat, then we could call it A flat minor. So for now, let's call it G sharp minor, and we'll see what happens. If we give it a sharp name, we'll see what happens at the top. Here's the first note, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th note is F sharp. We have to raise it up to make it closer to home. G sharp is our home. So there's that massive skip, the massive step that feels like a skip again. And there's There's your spooky sound. That looks like a little bowl. Looks like a little curvy bowl missing over this note here. So if we call it G sharp harmonic minor, look at the letter names. Look at how it's spelt. G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. This has to have an F name. It's one of those F sharp thingies. So if we call this one G sharp, that is an F double sharp, which is that little cross. So the accidental on there is going to be drawn as an F, and it's going to feel just like a G. If we give it the name A flat minor, now look at the spelling. A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat. We have to call this F flat. That is supposed to be G flat, but if we sharpen it, we just put a natural. And suddenly it looks easier to read on the page. It doesn't have the little spiky double sharp. And then we go to A flat. The problem with A flat minor is that the key signature looks horrendous. It's got 7 flats in there, plus a natural. So when you're playing it, it doesn't actually matter which one you're thinking of. It's only to do with how it looks on the page and how it is spelt. Left hand. So let's call it G sharp harmonic minor. We had these 2 fingers over here before, but you know what's coming up. We have that big skip feeling. That is a step. We're going to go from E to F double sharp. So if you've got that many fingers, that is a big, interesting feeling. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the fingering. We're going to put your 4 over the top here. And that way you get the massive step with these 2 fingers again, which is easy. Backwards. 2 octaves. Okay, we are down the bottom of the clock. We've just done the 5 sharp family. Now we're up to the 6 sharp family. This is the one where the 2 white notes are scared of the 2 blacks and they hug the 3 black notes. They like the 3 black notes. So F sharp major. If we call it a sharp name, we have to go under the ground and we call it D sharp minor. If we give it a flat name, if we call this one G flat, this one suddenly becomes under the ground. It suddenly becomes E flat minor. So because we're at the base of the clock, we're halfway around, we're starting to get into the easier ones coming up around. We're going to start calling them flats because we don't end up with that double sharp stuff up the top. It's just a little bit easier to think through. So let's call this E flat minor. Harmonic minor is going to raise up the 7th note. So let's see what happens at the 7th. Here's our first note, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. It's supposed to be D flat. If we put a sharp on a flat, it turns into a natural, and there it is again. These harmonic ones keep having these massive steps in there, and they feel odd when they're both white. When you've got one white and one black, they feel different. But in this case, we've got another one of the white ones. So we're doing the same notes as G flat with a raised 7th. Still hug the 3 black notes, and this one is an extra one. That's your accidental. Left hand, so E flat minor. This feels extremely weird. Remember before I was saying we're not going to go 1 and then 3 over the top. We actually have no choice with this one. If you wanted to change that fingering to the easy fingering, we would actually have to do a 5 on the black note, which again, it's not wrong. It's not wrong to do 5 on black notes. We do 5 on blacks all the time. time. When you're doing a scale, you want to make it run up and down easily. E flat minor does not feel comfortable. It doesn't run up and down easily with the raised seventh when we do harmonic minor. But it keeps that same fingering idea. You've got the 3 middle fingers for the 3 black notes. And these 2 fingers for the 2 black notes, but one of them is raised. So think of this as scooping up, and it's very squishy. So here's 1 octave. And backwards is feeling really weird. We've got 2, 3, and we tuck under. So the finger gymnastics that you're going to do with these ones is going to be a lot more advanced than the easy minor ones that you've already done. So 2 octaves. Is going to be sorely tempted to tuck underneath there. If it does, you are going to run into problems, and you'll very quickly realize that, yep, that makes a lot of sense. So these little ladybug, that ladybug shape under there is super helpful here, because you have to have your wrist up very tall to get your thumb tucked under on what feels like a skip. Okay, now we are up to the 7 sharp family. C sharp major, so all sharps, and the 2 white notes are pointing up this way. If we call it a flat family, which we will because it's much easier to discuss, if we call it the flat family, C sharp is exactly the same as D flat. So D flat under the ground. D flat is related to B flat minor. So B flat minor is going to have only 5 flats. If we call this A sharp minor, we have to give it 7 sharps, and we get the double sharp thing up the top, and the world is just more complicated. So if we go to B flat harmonic minor, we have to count up the 7th note, 1st note, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th gets raised up. So it was supposed to be A flat. We raise it to there. That's feeling very much like a zebra. We did the zebra pattern when we did B minor. The only difference between this zebra pattern and this one is the middle note there. We've still got the same ones there. We just switched the middle note. Okay, so B flat harmonic minor sounds like this. And it feels very squishy up the top. Here's 2 octaves. Left hand, B flat harmonic minor, so same deal, we'll start with your 2, easy fingering. Here's the zebra bit, we have white, black, and it's very squishy in here. A little tip with your fingers in here, when you're playing in amongst all these black notes, the obstacle course suddenly feels very constricted and tight, and it's easy to drop your wrist and go looping around here. But if you're going to go faster, your fingers have to be up and in here and as round as you can. I know you can't see from this angle here, but the rounder your fingers are, the more accurate you can be in between these ones here. Because we can't just suddenly dip out and in and out and in. It's too much work. So left hand, B flat, harmonic minor, and with your hand really tall and that beautiful round ladybug shape, so you can get in amongst all the black notes in here. 2 octaves. You have just gone past all of these super hairy ones at the base of the clock. We've just gotten up to 5 flats. We're going backwards to 4 flats. So 4 flats was A flat major. We had these 2, we had these 2. F harmonic, let's raise up the 7th and hear that spooky sound up the top. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Our 7th notes are always going to be flats because we're just on that side of the clock. So they're always going to be raised to a natural. So that there's our semitone again. Here's 1 octave. Big stretch. 2 octaves. Watch how to get on the way back because your thumb wants to tuck but it has to wait for the F. That is F minor. That had 4 flats. We're down to 3. This is a good one to start explaining the difference between majors and minors because 3 flats, E flat, major is relative to under the ground C minor. And of course C is the first major one that we learn. All white, nice and easy. C harmonic minor keeps the E flat because our 3rd note gets flattened. Keeps the A flat because that gets flattened. The B flat turns into a B natural so that it can be nice and close to the C. So really the only difference between a major scale, major C, and a C harmonic minor is the 3rd and the 6th note get flattened, and it completely changes the mood. It's actually 3 of them that get flattened if we're doing natural minor. But if you think of harmonic, only 2 notes change. And another good little practice thing, especially for your right hand, is these 2. There's your big fat step. That's a tone, that's a tone and a half. Takes a bit of extra work, especially these top 3. 2 octaves. Left hand C harmonic minor, 1 octave. And that bigger one's easy because these 2 fingers are easier to spread apart than those 2 fingers. Takes less work. Good old peace sign. 2 octaves. And again, watch that little 4th finger that after the E flat as you're coming down, we tuck under with your thumb. That was the 3 flat family. We're up to the 2 flat family. 2 flats was B flat major. We only had these 2. So if we go under the ground, let's turn it into harmonic. So the raised 1, this is pretty cool because look at this. That was our major sound. The raised 7th, the accidental, is the same one that we had in the major one. So look at G harmonic minor. We've still got the 2 flats here. And this feels really cool because the obstacle course has suddenly gone up and up and up. It's like a massive bridge. That is a step. Even though there's 2 notes hiding right under here, it's like a massive bridge. You can pretend that's the lava. We don't want to tuck our fingers into the lava. That's a fun feeling to do. So G harmonic minor. And 2 octaves. So you can do all kinds of strengthening things for these 2 fingers because this is a big stretch. Big stretch with those fingers, and you can stick some fun stuff down here. There's G harmonic minor with your right hand. Let's do it with your left hand. And the big stretch is suddenly easy with those 2 fingers. And 2 octaves going up. Big stretch with your 4. Don't forget that 4, so your thumb lands on G. That was the 2 flat family. We are up to the 1 flat family, which is very exciting because we're so close to the 0 flat family, which is where we started. So 1 flat was good old F. We had our B flat hiding in there. This is the last remaining black note of the, or last remaining flat in the key signature. When we get to D harmonic minor, we get that same bridge feeling that we did with G harmonic minor. So G harmonic minor, we had the bridge going over the top of these two white notes in here. D harmonic minor, it's the same feeling, but we just switch where the bridge goes. It's not these two, it's these two. So if we go from D, counting up to the 7th note, there's our 6th note, which is a B flat. The 7th is a C. We raise it up to C sharp. And there it is. There is the bridge climbing up and over. And 2 octaves. Left hand, let's see where the bridge falls this time. There it is there, and it's the easy fingers. We stretch these ones out. And 2 octaves. And after that, we're back to the 0 sharps and the 0 flat family, which is where we started. So if you have watched all of this in one go, you are phenomenal, because I would never expect anyone to sit through the whole thing. It's the kind of video that you need to jump back and forth through whenever you get stuck with a fingering. So if you're ever at home and you just can't remember what was discussed in a lesson, or you're trying to learn something completely new, you can always jump to the timestamps, find the family that you're looking for, and just take that little one, pause it, try and play along with it. All the best, and give yourself a thumbs up when you're able to play the whole cycle of all of those different types of minors.